Let's take a look at the equipment and software you would need for a basic recording setup, and why I think all musicians should have their own studio setup. You can put together a simple recording studio with these 5 things: a computer, a microphone or direct sound source, an audio interface, recording software, and speakers or headphones. I'll cover these in more detail next, but first I want to explain why most musicians would benefit from having the means to record themselves. It's a great songwriting tool for organizing parts into distinct song sections and arranging multiple instruments so they complement each other well. It helps you grow as a musician by being able to listen to your performance after the fact and recognize your strengths and weaknesses, as well as improving your perception of pitch and timing. It enables you to produce your own demos and release singles between studio albums at virtually no cost. You can also save money before going to a pro studio by refining your performances, pre-tracking instruments that you can do well enough on your own, and establishing song maps ahead of time. Alright, so let's take a look at the 5 key components of your studio. Your computer is the center device that all the others revolve around. Both Mac and PC are capable of recording, and most modern computers are powerful enough to get the job done. My personal recommendations on ideal specs would include a quad-core processor, 8 GB of RAM or more, a hard drive that is 7200 RPM or faster or a solid-state drive, and USB, FireWire, or Thunderbolt ports. Next, you'll need a microphone to capture your audio, unless you're directly plugging in your sound source. The 2 main types of mics are condenser and dynamic. Condenser mics are electrically charged by 48-volt phantom power and are very detailed and sensitive, but are susceptible to background noise. Dynamic mics are not electrically charged by phantom power, so they aren't as detailed but can handle louder sound sources and reject background noise more effectively. My personal recommendations are to go with a condenser if you want to record singing and acoustic instruments, or go with a dynamic if you'll be recording guitar amps and screaming vocals. The best case is to have some of both. An audio interface takes the sounds you are recording from the real world into your computer. They can have a range of inputs for connecting mics, guitars, and line-out devices like keyboards. They connect to your computer via USB, FireWire, or Thunderbolt, and the audio is recorded into whatever recording software you choose. But a lot of audio interfaces come bundled with recording software, so this can be a great way to save money if you're just starting out. Recording software, also known as digital audio workstations, are the platform upon which you build your song, track by track, layer by layer. Then, after you have everything recorded, use the software to edit, mix, and process all the tracks together into a balanced rendition of your song that you can export to an audio file for CDs, MP3 players, or online streaming platforms like SoundCloud. There are a ton of options out there, but I'll name a few I've used and can recommend: Cubase, Studio One by Presonus, Pro Tools, and Reaper. Speakers and headphones are the last essential part of a basic studio setup. Very simply, they allow you to hear what you are recording and mixing. It's nice to have both, but if you have to choose, start with headphones, which won't bleed extra noise into your microphones when you're recording. Of course, I recommend you go for the most accurate flat frequency response option you can afford, since it will allow you to create recordings that sound accurate and balanced across whatever device they are played through. But I think it's even more important that you use audio monitoring that you know very well and are comfortable with. So start with whatever you've got or can afford and upgrade as you progress. I hope this has been a good overview of the basics of a simple recording setup. Let me know if you guys would be interested in some more in-depth guides on how to choose the individual components that go into a basic studio setup. Please like if you found this helpful and subscribe for more. I create tutorials on everything involved in the audio process, from songwriting and arrangement to recording, mixing, and mastering the music you create.